Ready? Ferguson, New York. Images come into our mind, stories come to the forefront of our day as we watch television anymore, talking of the violence in America today, speaking of the violence that police officers are using against the public. I think part of the problem is that we don't always understand what our warriors do. Lieutenant Colonel Dave Grossman tells a story, and there are three types of people in our society. The first is 98% of the people that we have are sheep. Being a sheep is not a bad thing. They want good things. They want good for other people. They generally don't harm another sheep or another person. If they hurt one another, it's merely by accident. They wouldn't do it on purpose. But sheep are different than the wolf. You see, the wolf is the predator. The wolf is the predator that comes after the sheep to kill and to destroy. They don't just kill the sheep for food. They kill the sheep just for the violence involved. And criminal violence in our society today is at an all-time high. But even then, we still have the sheep. But the sheep are afraid. They have two speeds, really. First is graze, and the second is stampede. They either graze or they see the wolf and then they run for safety. The wolf growls and snarls and bares its teeth. It howls at the moon at night, and when the sheep see that wolf, they're overcome with fear. But then there's another predator. Another one that goes bark at things that move in the night. One that looks at the moon and they howl and they share those images of that wolf just from looking at the teeth in their mouth, and that would be the sheepdog. You see, sheepdog are like the police officers, the military in our land. We don't really enjoy having a police officer behind us when we're driving a car, now do we? I'm one of those. Who else agrees with that? I still feel uncomfortable when I see them in my mirror. I'd much rather see them going the other direction. But we need the police officers. You see, one thing different about it with sheep. They see the sheepdog in fear the same way as they see the wolf until the wolf comes. But when the wolf comes to hunt, and then the sheepdog is different because the sheepdog loves the sheep. They will do anything. They will give their life to protect those innocent sheep. And the sheep get behind the sheepdog as the sheepdog confronts that wolf, even willing to give his own life to keep the sheep safe. And you see, that's what police officers are called to do. We're called to be the sheepdogs. Only a 1%, still a predator, but the difference is they don't use criminal violence. Instead, they use unnecessary violence at times to protect those they love. The firefighter seldom uses fire to put out a fire. Police officers and military at times must use violence to overcome violence. While it's something we don't always understand as we watch the news or as we consider what the police officers are doing out in society today, my prayer is for you to remember that the sheepdogs are willing to give the greatest sacrifice of all, to lay down their life, to die if it must be, to keep you safe. I ask God to bless you and protect you and to keep you safe. I ask you to stand behind the sheepdog if you're not yourself a sheepdog. And I ask you to learn to understand who the sheepdog are and what they represent. May God bless you.